Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. You want to know the secret? You want to know what you can say that will make a man want you, even if he already got somebody at home? See, it ain't about looks. It ain't about outfits, and it sure ain't about money. Men, we wire different. We got egos, we got pride, and we got this deep down hunger that's been the same since the beginning of time. And let me break it down to you, because I'm going to tell you the truth whether you like it or not. You ever notice how a man can walk around with everything on his shoulders, the bills, the job, the responsibilities, the family, and still nobody really sees him? That right there is the truth. Most men feel invisible in their own homes, invisible at work, invisible in their circle. And you want to know what happens when somebody finally looks at him and says, "I see you"? That man wakes up inside. He feels like life just put some wind back in his chest, because deep down, men crave attention. Not the kind of attention where you post a picture and people hit a like button. No, I'm talking about that real attention, that personal attention where somebody looks you in the eye and acknowledges who you are. That kind of attention has power. And when a woman gives it, that man feels like he just found water in the desert. See, it's not about beauty or shape or what's in your bank account. A man can admire those things, sure, but those things don't keep him up at night. What keeps him up is the feeling that somebody values him, somebody notices the effort he puts in, somebody pays attention to the little things he does that go unspoken. When a woman leans in and says, "I notice how hard you work," or "I appreciate what you do," that's like a lightning bolt through a man's soul. He can't shake that. You've just given him something he can't buy, can't order online, and can't find anywhere else. And let me break it down even more. A man spends his life fighting battles no one sees. He's fighting doubt in his own head. He's fighting to prove himself at work. He's fighting to make sure his family never sees him weak. But behind that armor, he is tired. He's wondering if anybody actually sees the man behind the grind. And when you pay attention to him, when you notice the small things, you're telling him, "I see the man you are, not just a job you do." That is gold to a man. His wife might live with him, his kids might need him, but if she stopped noticing him, if she stopped giving that attention, then the first person who does is suddenly unforgettable. Here's where people get it wrong. They think men are simple. They think all men want is physical, and that's it. But that's surface level. The truth is, what gets inside a man's head is the woman who makes him feel seen. If you walk up to a man and just pay genuine attention, it's like unlocking a door nobody else has the key to. He could be married 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, but if she stopped feeding him that attention, then every little word you give suddenly feels like a feast. Attention is a drug to a man, and the dealer is the one he keeps coming back to. You don't even have to say much, just as simple, "I see how much you try," or "I respect how you handle things." And now his spirit is tied to you. Why? Because most of the time he's running on empty, and you just filled him up. And let me tell you something. When a man feels filled up, he associates that feeling with you. He connects the dots in his mind and says, "She gives me what I need." And it don't matter what else is happening in his life, he'll keep craving that. Now, don't get it twisted. This ain't about flattery. Men can smell fake praise a mile away. I'm talking about real attention where you actually observe, where you actually listen, where you actually notice things no one else notices. Maybe it's the way he handles stress. Maybe it's the way he sacrifices without saying a word. Maybe it's the way he shows up every day, even when he's worn out. You speak on that and you've just touched the deepest part of him. That's why attention is the most powerful tool you've got. Men live for it, they starve without it, and when somebody provides it, they can't let it go. That's how strong it is. You ever wonder why a man who looks so strong on the outside can sometimes feel so empty on the inside? It's because men walk through life carrying weight that nobody acknowledges. He gets up, he goes to work, he takes care of business, he fixes things that break, he makes sure the people he loves are safe and provided for. But after all that, most men still feel invisible. They don't get thanked enough, they don't get appreciated enough, and after a while, that invisibility turns into silence. He won't say it out loud, but deep down, he's starving for somebody to notice him. And that's why attention is powerful. When you stop and actually look at him, when you notice what he does, when you call out the effort that nobody else is talking about, that man feels like he matters again. See, people think men are fueled by ego or by pride, but really what fuels him is attention that feels real. Not the kind of attention where you say something because you want something in return, but the kind that comes from truly seeing him. When you say, I see how hard you're trying, or I notice the way you carry yourself, you've given him something that no paycheck and no title can provide. He feels alive again. He feels like he's not invisible anymore. And when a man feels that kind of attention, he connects it directly to the person who gave it to him. He may go home to a wife, he may sit down with family, but in the back of his mind, he can't stop thinking about the one who made him feel visible again. But it's not just attention. Attention might wake him up, but respect keeps him alive. Respect is oxygen to a man. Without it, he suffocates. He can live without a lot of things. He can live without fancy food, without big vacations, without applause from the world, but he cannot live without respect. And that's why when a woman looks a man in the eye and speaks to him with respect, it shakes him in a way nothing else can. You can tell a man he's handsome, you can tell him you like his style, but when you say, I respect what you do, or I respect the way you handle yourself, now you've hit his core. That's not flattery, that's fuel. Men crave respect more than love, and that's the part most people miss. A man can be loved and still feel empty if he's not respected. You can hug him, you can kiss him, you can even say you love him every day, but if he feels like you don't value him, if he feels like you don't believe in him, he will wither. Respect is the thing that separates somebody who just passes through his life from somebody he can't forget. When you respect a man, you elevate him. You remind him that he is not just a provider or a protector. He's a man worth honoring. And that right there, that's priceless. Now, think about how attention and respect work together. Attention gets his eyes on you. It makes him feel like, okay, she notices me, she sees me. But respect makes him stay. It makes him think, she doesn't just notice me, she values me, she believes in me. And when a man feels that combination, seen and respected, he's hooked. He may have a whole life somewhere else, but the pull of those two things is stronger than anything else, because it's not about replacing what he has. It's about giving him what he's missing. Most men don't even realize how much they need it until it shows up. He'll walk around tough. He'll act like he doesn't care. But then one moment of attention, one word of respect, and suddenly he can't shake the thought of you. He replays it in his mind over and over again. And the truth is, that's not weakness, that's human. Every man, no matter how strong, is still searching for the place where he feels both seen and value. And when you give him that, you've spoken to his soul. A man can walk through this world looking like he's got it all together, chest out, head up, shoulders back, but deep down, he is craving something that very few people ever give him. See, the truth is, most men feel invisible. They wake up, handle their responsibilities, take care of the people around them, and nobody stops to say, I see you. That's why attention is such a powerful force. When you notice the details, the way he works hard, the way he keeps showing up, the sacrifices he makes silently, you've already separated yourself from most people in his life. That kind of attention makes him feel alive again. It's like you lit a fire inside him. He may walk back into his house, sit at his dinner table, and go about his routine, but you will stay on his mind because you did what so many overlook. You paid attention. But it doesn't stop with attention. A man needs something even deeper than that, and that's respect. Respect is the foundation of his identity. You can love a man, you can be affectionate with a man, but if he doesn't feel respected, he will always feel half empty. Respect is not just saying nice words, it's saying the words that acknowledge his effort and his value. When you tell a man, I respect how you handle yourself, or I respect how you keep pushing no matter what, you've just fed his spirit in a way that touches him beyond the surface. Men can survive without a lot of things, but take respect away and you've taken his air. And when you give it, when you show it, when you speak it into his life, you become unforgettable because you are giving him what so many fail to provide. Now let's go even further, because there's a layer underneath attention and respect that ties it all together, and that's understanding. You want to know what really makes a man attach himself to you? It's not just that you see him, it's not just that you respect him, it's that you actually understand him. And let me tell you, most men do not feel understood. They carry around fears, doubts, worries they never say out loud because society told them to be strong, to be silent, to never show weakness. But the truth is, inside that armor is a human being who needs somebody to get him. When you say to a man, I understand what you're going through, or I get why you feel that way, you've opened the door he doesn't let many people in. Because men are not wired to spill their emotions to just anybody. We keep it locked up tight. But the moment we feel someone not only listens, but actually gets it, that connection becomes unbreakable. He can go home and hear I love you 10 times, but if he feels misunderstood, it won't stick. Yet one sentence from you that proves you understand his struggle will replay in his mind for days. Attention wakes him up. Respect fills him up. And understanding ties him to you emotionally. That's the trifecta right there. When you put those three together, you are speaking directly to his spirit. You're giving him what he didn't even know he needed. And here's the thing, when a man finds someone who makes him feel seen, respected, and understood, that's rare. Rare things don't get ignored. Rare things don't get replaced. Rare things get cherished, even if he's got a whole life somewhere else. And that's why words carry so much weight. It's not about grand gestures or complicated games. It's about making him feel like you truly see the man behind the mask. You honor who he is, and you understand what he's carrying. That's how powerful this is. Once you give a man that experience, He can't shake you from his heart no matter where he goes. A man can walk around every single day with his chest out, playing tough, acting like he's fine, but deep down, he is craving things that most people never give him. The first thing he's starving for is attention. Men get so used to being overlooked that they forget what it feels like to be noticed. He pays the bills, he fixes what's broken, he shows up, he works hard. But how many times does somebody actually stop and say, I see you? When you pay attention, when you notice the small sacrifices, the daily effort, the things he doesn't even talk about, you've already separated yourself from the rest of the crowd. That attention wakes him up. It tells him he's not invisible. And once you've made a man feel visible again, he's not going to forget you. But attention alone isn't enough, because what truly fills him up is respect. Men can survive without flattery. They can survive without constant praise, but they cannot survive without respect. Respect is the air he breathes. You can hug him, you can love him, you can cook for him, but if he doesn't feel respected, he's empty. And that's why when you say something like, I respect how you handle things, or I respect the way you provide, the way you protect, the way you push, you are giving him something deeper than love. You're telling him, I value you as a man. And once he feels that, it goes straight into his soul. Respect doesn't just make him feel good in the moment, it makes him feel anchored. And the woman who gives him that will always stand out in his memory. Now let's go a layer deeper, because it's not just about being seen or being respected. It's about being understood. Most men are misunderstood. They carry doubts, fears, and silent battles inside, but they won't say a word because they've been taught that vulnerability makes them weak, so they bury it. But even the strongest man still wants to be understood. And when you can look him in the eye and say, I understand what you're going through, or I get why you feel the way you feel, you've opened up a door inside him that he doesn't open for anyone. Understanding makes him feel safe. It tells him that he doesn't have to explain every detail. He doesn't have to prove himself. He can just be. And once he finds someone who understands him, that connection becomes unshakable, because men don't crave a million voices telling them who to be. They crave one voice saying, I get you. But the fourth piece, the one that really takes it to another level, is admiration. Men are built to chase accomplishment, to strive, to conquer. But at the end of the day, every man wants to know he's admired. It's not just about respect for what he does, it's admiration for who he is. When you say, I admire your strength, or I admire the way you carry yourself, or even something simple like, I admire how you never give up, you've hit a chord inside him that he will keep replaying over and over, because admiration is different from attention. Attention says, I see you. Respect says, I value you. Understanding says, I get you. But admiration says, I look up to you. And that right there, that makes a man feel like a king. The truth is, men don't admit it, but we are hungry for admiration. The world beats us down, tells us we're not enough, tells us to do more, be more, achieve more. But when someone looks at us and says, I admire the man you already are, that's the kind of validation that can carry us through storms. And it's not about flattery. Men know when you're being fake. It's about genuine admiration, the kind that comes from paying attention, giving respect, and truly understanding him. Put all of that together and you've created something rare.